Hey guys, I hope you all are well, and we are back with day 11 of 100 days of DSA challenge, and today we have a medium level question 1781 sum of beauty of substrings. Okay, so this is a pretty simple question to understand. So we are given a string like this and we have to find the beauty for each substring of this string, and we have to find the sum of all those beauties and return it. And what does a beauty mean? A beauty means the difference between the highest frequency, uh, and the most frequent and least frequent character in the particular substring. For example, in this example, what can be the substrings? A can be a substring, AA can be a substring, but their beauties will be zero because most frequent and least frequent are A's, and the difference between them is zero. Let's go to AAB. Here, most frequent is A, the frequency of A is 2, and B is 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1. And similarly, we can find all the substrings, and the sum of them will be 5. Alright, so how do we do this question? Well, to be honest, I did not find an optimal way to do it. I did it by brute force in order of n square, but I'm sure there must be more optimal ways of doing this question. So I hope you find these and tell me if you find these in the comments below. But I'm going to solve this in order of n square. Alright, so my approach is pretty simple. So for example, this is our test case. So I'm just going to take an I and I'm going to take a j. So just the simple for loop that for int I equals 0, I less than 0, I plus plus, and in that the nested j loop, j equal I, j less than 0, j plus plus, sorry, j less than size, j plus plus. And then for this, the j will move here, j will move here. Now we are capturing this substring. Beauty for this will be calculated. How will the beauty be calculated? I will take an array. I will take an array of size 256, and I will store the frequency of each element into that array. Now, why did I choose the length 256? And how will I store the frequencies of them in of the characters in this array? So basically, each character has an ASCII value. You can see it here, and the range is from 0 to 127. Okay. Well, although here it is given that S only consists of lowercase English letters, so which means that the length can only be from 97 to 127. Okay, but still I have taken from 0 to 127, or it's going to take more space, but it's constant space, hence I did not try to optimize this. Although if I want to optimize it, there's only one difference I have to make, and it's your homework to find that out in the comments below. Alright, so I've taken 256 size array, and each time I'm going to just store, like for example A, for when I and J were both at 0, then A's index, what was A's value here? 97. So uh, let's say this was 96 and here it is 97. So the 97th element will become A, will become 1. Okay, I'm adding it. Then I'll go to this. Okay, then this frequency becomes 2. Okay, then I'll go to this B, J comes here. So when it is at B, this becomes 1. Okay, and at each step, whenever for each J, okay, for each J, what I'm doing is I'm adding beauty to the total sum. So let's say initially our total sum which we have to return, it was 0. Then for each step, for each J, I am just simply calculating the beauty, and I'm simply adding the beauty to the sum, like sum plus equal beauty at each step, so that I make sure that the we calculate the sum of each beauty. So basically, how do we calculate beauty? By simply finding the difference of the most frequent element in this array and the least frequent element in this array. It's a pretty simple question. Now let's see how we implemented it. See, this is our answer, the final answer or the sum, you can say, for I equals 0, I less than size, I plus plus. And see, one important thing is that I am declaring the integer array here and not above. The reason for that is, let's say I declared it above, okay? Let's say I declared it on top. Then initially all the elements of my array are 0. Okay, all the elements are 0 by default, I'm saying. Then for I equals to 0, okay, and j equals to 0. First, it will calculate the frequency of all, like, so at the end, it will be A's frequency. Let's say this is 97 here, okay. So A's frequency would become 4, B's frequency would become 2, and C's frequency would become 1, okay. And then after j is done with this, I will move here, and j becomes I, right? And then it will start calculating the frequencies for these, okay. But here we are not resetting the values to 0 again. So now the frequencies will be calculated based on, like, including this one too, and it will calculate the previous frequencies too, right? The array is not empty here, the array does not have 0 values, okay. So that's why at each I we are initializing this with zeros, okay. I hope you got it. Hence it is written here. Then simply count is the name of the array I have taken, and its jth element, the string's jth element, will just be increased here, like I told you before. And here I've used a function, max element. This returns the maximum element of the array, and the star here means that it is dereferencing it. So basically this function returns the iterator, okay, and we do not want the iterator, we want the value at that iterator. Hence this is used. I hope you I know this theory, and this is for dereferencing, okay. And this will return the max. Now there's a minimum element 1 2, but why have I not used the minimum element? Because when you use the minimum element function, it will also consider zeros, right? You also have zeros in your array. So if my maximum frequency is 3 and my minimum frequency is, let's say, 1, which I want, but there will also be zeros in the array, and it will return 0. We do not want that. Hence I have not used minimum elements function, but I have used a simple loop to calculate the minimum element. So initially minval will be the maximum possible integer value, and then I'm simply saying if it is non-zero, which means greater than 0, then simply find the minimum and store it, okay, simple. And then just beauty equal to the difference, and you add beauty at each step to the answer, and you return answer. That's it. It was a simple question. Please tell me, guys, if you have a more optimal approach to this question. But here it is. Here's the solution with brute force. I hope you liked it. See you on day 12.